Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike, and I'm excited to share another Divi tutorial with you. My goal here is to make learning Divi as straightforward as possible. So be prepared to be mildly deformed while possibly yawning. Today we're going to be looking at how you can use icons for bullet lists. So let's just jump right in. We can all go and create different bullet lists in our content. But we get the default look where you get either this disk, or you could get the little square, or there's also a triangle one that you can get and use, which Divi gives you automatically. So let's see, what does that mean? If I just log into the Visual Builder and I scroll down and we go to the list item, so we go to design, go here, and we look at the list items. They give you the list font, so you can choose, sorry, not that one. There's one that's this, there we go. List orders type, disk, circle, or square. And that is it. So currently we have the disk, we can change it to a circle, super exciting, or we could make it a square. Okay, that looks amazing. All right, but is that really what we want to do? Okay. Today I want to show you how you can actually make this a little bit more attractive, appealing, however you want to phrase it. But what we can make use of is we make use of a thing called icon sets that Divi actually provides. All right, so if we want to go and we want to jump into this, right, so what we need to do is having a look at this particular text settings. The very first thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to give it a class. All right, because yes, we're going to have to do some CSS for this. So I want to give it a class of dd for Divi Duck, Bullet list, okay, and I'm going to give it an arrow. So I'm just giving it Divi Duck Bullet list arrow. All right, and I'm going to save that. Remember, when we put in a class here, we don't put the dot before. We want to make sure we just put in the content itself. And then I want to hit OK. All right, the other thing I want to do is I want to come back here, and I just want to go back to the text. Is it on the bullet list? Bullet list, go down to where we have square, and I actually want to say none. All right, so you see that takes away the bullets before. Okay, so then I want to save that. All right, now on this side I want to do the same thing. I want to open it up. I want to jump into the design. I want to jump into the advanced. I want to jump into the class, and I want to say Divi Duck bullet list, and I'm going to say circle for this one. You'll see why when we start doing it. All right, and remember to go back to design, and we want to set the bullet list type to none. All right, so we take away the style. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to save this, and then exit. So we want to make sure we're on the front end. And then we want to jump back into our back end because we're going to add in some CSS. So there's a number of places that you can go and you can add in the CSS. But the easiest one for us to go through over here today would be the dashboard theme options. Scroll down to the bottom and we can add in our CSS over here. All right, so remember, if we're going to call a class, we need to put the dot before. And then remember, we had the one that we did first was the dd bullet list arrow. Okay. So now we're going to have to add in some classes here. But what are the classes that we want to add in? All right, so there is a code that Elegant Themes has given us with their own style. So let's just go put this in there. I'll put this link in the description below so that you can always access it from there. But this is the only tutorial online that I found that actually lists the correct icons that I could find for myself. There might be others, but the one that I could find. So I will link to his to give him the credit for it. But if you scroll down, over here is where we get the full list of Divi icons. All right, so how do we use this? Well, let's jump back into our theme options. Right, so if we jump back into our theme options, we go in over here. And we start typing. We actually need to call what element we want to call. How silly. All right, so we want to call it the unordered list, but we want to call each list before, and we put it in over there. Okay, so now what do we want to put in there? We want to put in the content. So what is the content? The content is now what where we are showing you the list items in the Divi icons over here. So for me, I want to put in this arrow over here. Okay, so we want to copy the code without the semicolon. It's very important because if you put in the semicolon, it actually adds on other icons as well. So just take the ones, just the numbers before the semicolon, go back, and inside we place it over there. All right. Now, also important is we need to override any current ones that Divi has set for it. So how do we do that? Well, we add in an important tag. If I can spell, so important. Okay, so currently we've told it now for this particular element, we want to put in this icon. Okay, but what icon is that and where do you get it from? Let's tell it the font family. All right, so we want the font family to be ET modules. So it's the elegant theme modules. And again, we want to make sure it's important. So we're overriding anything that might also be referencing that at the moment. All right, so let's save changes and see what this does on the front end. There. And there we have it. There you have the arrows coming in. So right now, it doesn't look so brilliant, right? What we want to do is we want to give it a little bit of styling. So let's jump back into the theme options and let's go and see what we can do. All right, so maybe we want to give it a color. Let's call this blue, just to see how that looks. All right, we want to give it a bit of padding, or at least spacing, between the items themselves. Okay, so let's call it a margin to the right, and we call that maybe 10 pixels. All right, let's go see what this looks like. Save changes, and we're on the front end, and let's have a look. All right, that looks much better already. So we got the blue that's showing up, and we can see the margin that's being set there too. Okay, now maybe what we want to do is we also want to just highlight it a little bit more. So perhaps we could give it a bigger font size. Maybe 1.3 EM. And let's just give this an important tag too, if I can spell, important. There we go. And let's save changes. Let's go back to the front end. And there you go. So you can see it's slightly bigger now. It's the blue color and it's pushing to the right. Okay. Now you can see that there's this spacing over here that was there for the discs before. What if we want to take that away? Well, that one we can also do the same kind of thing. That's what we did over here. Instead of just the margin right, let's go margin left. And we can add maybe negative 14 pixels because we want to move to the left. And save changes. Let's go have a look. And it's moved it, so it's almost in line now with the rest. So basically, however you want the indentation over here is completely up to the style that you want to make it. All right, what I just want to show you today is how it is possible to do so. So let's just do one more with the one next to it, just so that you can be sure as to how it actually works. All right, so let's go, and I'm going to copy all of this and push it down. And so we called this one circle, right? So it's a circle. And then what we want to do is we want to jump back into our list of icon codes. So let's just use this one. All right, 3D. Go back. And instead of the 9, let's put in the D. Save changes. Let's come back to our bullet codes. And we hit it up. And there it is right there. So we've got the icons that are busy displaying now instead of the circles, the discs, the what was it, the square, all of those. Now the beautiful part about it is that you actually have access to all of these Divi icons. So anything that you see here, you can actually make one of your bullets and use it for your bullet lists. Now I'm pretty sure you don't want to use this one unless you really have some fantastic creative list icon that it would work for, but yeah, it's not going to show because I probably didn't do it correctly. Yeah, but yeah, you have access to all of these that if you want to do, and I would say is stick to these top ones. Don't go too crazy, but you can also do check marks if you want 4E. So let's go back there. 4E, save changes, go to the front end, and you can have check marks. You can change it to green. You can make this color red, so you can have like, oh, these are the things you love about it, and these are the things you hate about it, the green and the red check marks. So if we go back to the list, you have different kinds of check marks. You have the empty check mark, and I'm sure if you scroll all the way down, you'll start getting the full, yep, here they come. There's the full check mark, and you can put the X. So let's take an example here. So it's X51. Go back to this one, say 51. We don't want blue, but we want red. Save changes. Come back to the bullet, and we hit it again, and you can see it's got all the red check marks, crosses. So you can say these are the things that don't have, these are the ones that do. So let's just go put the check marks quickly just so that you can see how that works. Check marks, 52. Let's go back. 52. Change the blue to green. All right, we save changes. Go back to the front end. And there we go. We've got all the green check marks and the red. All right. Okay, so I hope that was helpful to you, and I hope it's been very well, not helpful, but I hope this tutorial has been beneficial for you. And if it has, please do hit that like button to let me know. To catch more Divi tutorials as they come out, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and I'll be posting more about Divi as I learn more about Divi. Your feedback is valuable, so do leave a comment below with any questions or suggestions for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.